tempted, somewhat brashly in hindsight, it seems, to speak here at this event in front of you all. I was definitely overcome by a bout of nervousness because I was sitting there trying to rack my brains to find out what it is that I know more of than most people that would qualify me to stand here in front of you and speak in this august audience. And then after racking my brains pretty heavily, I came upon one subject, and I was very happy with that, and that subject was me. And then, of course, they said it had to be interesting, so that posed a few problems. So I had to find out what it was about me that I did, my interest, that would interest you as well. And I chose technology. I'm a technologist by profession, and I'm a geek at heart. And I have a home full of devices. My wife will attest to that. I spend inordinate amounts of money and time and effort putting together home electronics and trying to bring up experiences inside the home that make it interesting, not just for me, but for those that live in my house as well, which is my 8-year-old mother, my 8-year-old son, and my non-technical wife. So what I thought I would do here today is walk you through what I, as a consummate geek, do in my house to create certain experiences that delight and bring technology and devices together within my home. And hopefully, one or two of those will appeal to you, and you will be able to take that out, and that would end up being an idea worth spreading. So before I actually go and start talking about what are the various devices in my house, I thought I'll give you a quick idea about the floor plan of my house. Fairly straightforward, nothing major here. So, I have a living space, which is where all the living happens. I have a little office space here, which is kind of like my network operations center, if you will. And I have various different private spaces around the house. And inside this house, all around me, and when I am on the road as well, I have a whole host of devices, gadgets, everything from the size of a thumbnail all the way to something that fills 3/4 of a room. And there you have a whole list of them. I'm not going to go through each one of them, but suffice it to say that I have an inordinate number of gadgets in and around me, and all of which conspire together, sometimes to do amusing things, and sometimes to do actually useful things, and sometimes to do pretty entertaining things as well. The tiny little home office space that I have out there is really what is the hub, if you will, the infrastructure of all the things that power my house. And chief among them, and these are not high-tech equipment. These are fairly low-tech, normal devices that you can buy in the streets today. This is not about technology and devices of the future that are going to happen. This is more about what you can go out there and buy today and do for your house, as I have done to mine. So there is the DSL modem, which runs off BSNL broadband and acts as the gateway for all the devices in my house, all the experiences in my house, all the people in my house to get connected to the rest of the world, aka the internet. And there's the Wi-Fi and the wired router that brings everything together, either wired or wireless, across my house. I have, like I said, various other form factors inside the house that have the ability to talk, and this is what enables that. And the third piece of this big infrastructure puzzle is right here, which is my 1 terabyte huge hard disk. And it's a special hard disk because it's a network-attached storage. It's not connected to a computer. And by virtue of being connected to the network, it can access the internet directly on its own. It doesn't need a computer to work. And every other device in the house can talk directly to it. So even while the rest of the computers at home are fast asleep and conserving power as they ought to, this little guy out here goes out and does his or her job. And next morning when I wake up, there's a whole bunch of stuff for me to do just by virtue of having him on. And then I have my living space. And the center of the living space is the television. I'm a passionate believer in this form factor. How much ever I love technology, how much ever I love various devices, I feel that experientially everything should come out in this form factor. Because this is a large screen. This is a large screen in a social space in the living room where people get together. This is a screen, and this is an interaction model that everybody in the house understands how to use, whether it's my 8-year-old mom, my 8-year-old son, my absolutely non-tech, non-gadget savvy wife, or me, the consummate geek. We all know how to use it, and this is one device that we're intimately familiar with. So pretty much you will see as a recurring theme of practically every experience that I bring about with all these devices somehow manifest themselves in this form factor. And to enable these experiences to come on the television, the heart of my media is the Media Center PC. It's no more than just a traditional PC, but it runs a certain Media Center software that brings out these beautiful experiences in a sort of lean back, 10-foot remote control, low resolution viewing experience that you can engage in sitting from the couch. And a whole bunch of devices that I have connected to this media center. So obviously I have my TV signal coming in my case it happens to be DTH, the webcam and the microphone, all of which enable various people inside my house to be able to talk to everybody else. Again, connected to my TV, and FM tuners and TV tuners and the whole 9 yards. And I have various private spaces in my house, obviously the bedrooms, where also I need all these experiences to come to me, but in a different kind of an environment. It's not a social space, it's a private space. So while I have the need to consume entertainment, while I have the need to consume information, the interaction is a little different, the needs are a little different, and obviously I have devices that kind of conform to that kind of a requirement. For instance, I have a digital photo frame on the bedstand of my mom, so that when my nephew in Cork, Ireland uploads pictures of his grandson, they automatically appear here on her bedside, thereby creating a connection that she would otherwise have never have gotten. And the devices that I own are not necessarily restricted to my house. There's a whole bunch of them that I carry around with me wherever I go. They're on my wheels, and everything from my son's handheld game to the FM transmitter that takes the sound out of my portable media player, makes it available to the large stereo that I have inside the car, to the wireless broadband that keeps me connected wherever I go, obviously my mobile phone, my USB stick, and a whole host of other things as well. Now, I want to spend a few minutes talking about how exactly I did this so that if any of you is interested, is geeky enough like me, or is interested in creating these experiences in your own home, you can actually go ahead and try it. And like I said, I've tried to build these with off-the-shelf components that are available today. Nothing out there that you need to go and build for yourself. Again, starting is my, the heart or the central nervous system, if you will. My connectivity right here and all the internet services that I consume that connects to. And I need a firewall that's extremely important to me to keep the rest of my house safe. And I have the wireless sub right there, which connects the rest of the house, and my hard disk that is attached directly to the network. So there is my network operations center, if you will. And then here is my living space. And this is where I really want to spend a little bit of time so that you understand how it is that I bring about these experiences on the television. So at the center of it all is my media center PC, which is connected wirelessly to the rest of my network operations center, as well as wired, because I want to stream high-definition content. I need wires for that, so I do that. And my media center is connected to a TV tuner, again, something that I just buy off the shelf. And the TV tuner takes in my TV signals that come from my television set-top box. In my case, it happens to be a DTH from Tata Sky. It can be anything. Your mileage may vary, but everything else will work just as well. And the connection is fairly straightforward. I just take the video composite signal and the stereo audio, connect it to my TV tuner, and then I can control TV experiences like I will talk about. And a bunch of other devices that I connect, like the webcam and microphone that typically get connected to a computer out here in the corner somewhere, and your 80-year-old mom is not going to go and sit in front of a computer in order to have a chat with her grandson or her great-granddaughter. But in my case, she does, simply because the webcam and the microphone are not even devices that she recognizes that she's sitting in front of. As far as she knows, she's just sitting in front of the TV, and life goes on for her, except in addition to the TV serials that she gets to watch. And behind this, I have a what's called an IR blaster that communicates these remote control signals back onto my TV set-top box as well, so I don't have to juggle with multiple remotes. It's not like I take the TV set-top box remote to change channels, and then I use my media center remote to change the program that I'm watching or turn volume or anything. There is only one remote control, which is my media center's remote control. And this little IR blaster, again, nothing but a tiny cable with an infrared diode at the end that points itself in front of the TV set-top box. Again, pennies on the dollar, any little Shannon's Trading Center type place is likely to carry it for you. And I have a Bluetooth dongle, which is extremely important because the devices that I bring into the house, most of them have multiple means of communicating. Bluetooth is a wonderfully wireless means of communicating as well. And what it allows me to do is, sometimes, most often I take pictures with my digital camera, photos from which I put it into my media center using the SD card. But quite often, very impromptu, what I do is I take pictures using the phone. And I want to be able to take the phone pictures out and take them into my media center and be able to show them wirelessly on the television. So I have those. And then finally, all of these experiences, the experiences actually I'm going to get into in just a little bit, but all of these experiences I need to be able to surface in the private space as well without investing in all of this heavy-duty hardware or all these wires. And all I have there is a tiny little box which is called a media center extender. What it does is it simply captures the output of what this media center would do to this TV, shows it up on my TV right here. So everything that I can do on this, which is watch TV, music, pictures, movies, videos, contacts, communicate on the telephone using IP, all of which I can do simply by having this tiny little box and the wireless extender to that as well. So having built all of these things, what do they do for me? I thought long and hard about, yes, I can do X, Y, Z, A, B, and C, but what is it that it finally translates to? And the one common recurring theme that I saw in all these experiences is that they shrunk the world around me. They shrunk multiple different factors of my life, and starting with physical spaces, for instance. This tiny little mobile portable device that I have currently carries about 3,000 plus songs, about 6,000 pictures, and 100 videos, which if I were to store in physical media, I need another room in that floor plan in order to do that. Space is not the only one that it shrinks time as well. A TV program that I would normally take about a half an hour to watch now costs me only 15 minutes of my time because I zip through all the advertisements and I zip through boring parts of movies, for instance. If I were to watch a Bollywood movie not interested in the songs, I'll probably end up watching the movie in about 15 minutes as well. And I really love this aspect of it. It gives me control. The tyranny of broadcast television is shrunk to me. I no longer am the slave to broadcast timings. Timing is on, the show is on at night, I will watch it at 10 tomorrow. All because I have a media center that has the ability to record these programs onto this big network storage device that I have completely invisible to me. And I will go watch it when I want it at my own pace. And I will pause it, I will fast forward it, I will rewind it. And I will do it to live TV, and nobody will ask me why. And gratification delay. This is something that I've had to deal with, never liked it. If I want to watch a movie, I want to watch it now. It's not like I want to go to the DVD rental store, find that somebody else has rented it, and have to wait for it. All I do is I have an online service that I have subscribed to using my media center. All I do is I go, find the movie that I want, and I press this tiny little button or this tiny little button, and then in 5 minutes, I'm watching the movie. So it shrinks gratification delay for me. And it's a fabulous conversation piece. Like when I'm playing music at my home, I'm not just playing music. While it's playing music, my media center is picking up random pictures from my past and randomly displaying it. So you're sitting at home, awkward pause, wife's boss is over for dinner, you don't have anything to talk about, and then suddenly there's this picture of you with bell bottoms from your college days, and you can rest assured there's something to talk about there. And yes, I have a whole bunch of movies that I rip, and I have it available for me on my media center. I have more movies to watch than I have time to. And it definitely shrinks expenses because I don't pay, firstborn premium for my popcorn and Coke because I have my media center right here. I don't have to go to IMAX and INOX. And the geographical distances, yes, definitely. This is an actual screenshot. While my mom is watching television, while she's watching a movie, an incoming call from her grandson, out in this case, granddaughter, out in Cork, Ireland, and she picks it up and she talks, shrinks the geographical distances. What used to be possible with the telephone, but still STD, ISD, put a blocker in that, but now this is VoIP, it's completely free, so it shrinks that as well. And it's a great de-stress device. When I go out, I don't need to worry about, do I know where I'm going? I know exactly where I'm going, and I know that little red dot always tells me where I am with respect to where I need to go. And it's extremely engaging. It shrinks boredom. So there's a whole bunch of things that I find my devices to shrink, and here's a list of those. Physical spaces, awkward pauses in conversation, geographic distances, expenses, broadcast tyranny, and a whole host of others. So all my devices have come together to conspire to shrink the world around me. My next step is to try and figure out what it is to fill that extra void of space that it has left behind, but that's a topic for another conversation altogether. Thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate it.